started causing some rejection, failed to break any lower, and again, I was happy to get involved with that. Cleared out the trap, good impulse there, and then again, I held up to that daily high. So welcome back everybody to another video in the Trading the Trap series. Talked through a couple of trades that we took on Tuesday last week on EURUSD and GBPUSD. A total of 19R on one, 7R on the other. So it was a pretty huge day. I'm going to talk you through how I took them, how I traded them, and further development on this Trading the Trap series. These trap concepts that I've learned are, particularly powerful. There's something that I would highly recommend involving in your trading. There's two traps ultimately. One is the news-related trap, and the other is the New York Open trap. So as we get into it, I'll go into a bit more detail. As always, if you're not doing this already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Just pop me some likes and comments below. Cheers. Right, okay, so this is the EURUSD trade. Now, if I go back to the start of the day, okay, now this big spike here, okay, this here was caused by Friday's news. That was possibly NFP, okay? Now, what often happens with big news events is they often have a push up and then a push down, and then the market kind of settles back into what it has been doing. What's great about these areas is that they look like really good supply or demand zones, and the mistake people often make is they trade them as if they're supply and demand zones. But because they are liquidity moves, they're very rarely, genuine supply zones where they're going to hold, and they're most commonly swept. So I always mark them off as a trap. There's not really any kind of major way that I do them. I mean, let's have a look at this one. What was it? It was off a 3-minute candle. Yeah, I use the 3-minute candle there, so I go kind of body to wick. So I use that area as our trap zone, and I'm targeting that. Now, we came into the morning of Tuesday, okay, and we had a really clear breakdown out of this zone. So they don't always trap, they can sometimes hold. So I saw that as supply. I saw this good move here, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get involved with this. So as the trade came down and started making multiple structures on the way down, this is clearly now a bearish structure. We've had a breaker structure there. Can't really see that. 2 seconds. We've had a breaker structure there. We've had a breaker structure there. For me, although I wouldn't normally trade out of these trap zones, for me that's enough movement out of that trap for me to say, yeah, do you know what, this is probably going to go a bit lower. Okay, it's unlikely that if it was going to sweep some liquidity, it's probably going to take that one and then push back up. The fact that it is still continuing to move down, I'm now getting involved with that. So as you see, price starts moving up. Okay, it creates this kind of trend line liquidity here on the 1-minute time frame. So we've got some liquidity there. And what I'm doing then is I'm just looking to go short. Set my targets not too far down. Set my targets at this daily level, which was here. So that was a previous day opening price. And that's where I'm basically taking out some profit. So we hold it, hold it, hold it. That's the New York Open, and then we come into here. Now, I don't normally trade before news, and when I was looking at the news, I saw some news at 2:30, and there was actually some news at 3:30. It wasn't one that I'd particularly be trading around, but I saw news at 3:30, so I knew that the chance of this kind of being swept out was high, which is why I was happy to take my profits out, and we go from there. I could have held, as you could see, I could have got a bit more profit out of it, but ultimately we didn't. Now the news happened at 2:30, okay, it didn't, or 2:15, didn't really make much of a reaction. But it did clear out some liquidity. So we've got this nice push down. If we go down to the 1-minute time frame, this nice push down, push out, and I thought, we'll get involved with this. And we held it, and as you can see, it blew through the New York Open trap, okay? And some more news came into the market, and it pushed up through the previous news trap, and then it pushed up once again, after a bit of messing about, pushed up once again, out of here, and that's where I came out to my profit. So that was an amazing trade. That was 18%. Okay, we cleared out both of these traps, cleared out sell side liquidity here, cleared out that daily low, tagged into a demand zone, and then we rocketed up, and we came out here where this was a previous high, and I thought maybe we could see some sort of reversal there as imbalance. There's a setup there for it to go short. That itself is a setup to go short, supply and demand zone with the rest in liquidity. So I took my profit out after that, rest in liquidity, and yeah, it was an amazing trade. Very, very similar on GBPUSD. if we go back to here, GBPUSD was actually slightly cleaner as well. So GBPUSD, we had here this, just go to my replay tool. Okay, we had here very clear, kind of meandering down. New York Open trap was there. We had resting liquidity here, resting liquidity there, just above a supply zone, which if we tighten the supply zone, sorry, demand zone, tighten that demand zone up, we've also got imbalances. Okay, those are the three elements that I'm looking for. Imbalance coupled with, let's have a look, resting liquidity. Let me drag that out. Okay, so as you can see on this trade, we had imbalance there. Okay, resting liquidity, we swept all of those out, started causing some rejection, failed to break any lower, and again, I was happy to get involved with that. Cleared out the trap, good impulse there, and then again, I held up to that daily high. So, look, all in all, a fantastic trading day. Like I said, we did about 7 on one and about 18% on the other, so about 30% on the account if you trade at 1% per trade. It doesn't get much better than this. As always, make sure you check in for the next video, pop that notification bell on, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep coming with this educational content. Cheers.